This is the Tactical Muffin Top special Thursday edition chat with Mid-Tier Thoughts and Justin B and Pat Riot.
Well, hey, party people.
What up? So we've been going back and forth in the shadows for this chat, me and Mid-Tier, and the stars have finally aligned. He's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. I took a break remodeling the house. He took a break being beautiful. You know, now we're here again. So this is good. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you. You're over on this dinky little channel having a good time, you know, hopefully, anyway. This is called the EBT Battleground, I think I called it. That seems to be all the rage for the week on the YouTube prepping side and whatnot. I've had a chat about it, how I think it's probably a first domino in the step, especially after old Daddy Trump dropped the rapid response of all National Guard. I believe they started training today, 500 guys per state. So that's a substantial force, and it's definitely nothing that anybody that I know in the National Guard, because I have several friends there. I don't think any of them are in this one yet, but I know they were doing drills on house-to-house confiscation searches, 10, 15-minute searches per house, and that was a couple years ago. They've been doing that ever since, so probably one and the same, maybe a little bit more tactical SWAT related. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, I guess if I had what all these internet people are talking about, you know, flash mobbing Walmarts, well, a tactical response of 500 dudes that know what they're doing seems like a decent deterrent for multiple stores, but it's not going to cover every Walmart. I live in Nebraska. It's not going to cover every Walmart. So be that as it may. So that's the main topic for discussion tonight. We'll kind of go around the room, look through the comments in the chat, and see if we find any deep critical thinking topics to go down and maybe better somebody in their thought process and whatnot. So, and of course, we're going to get your take, your other side of the coin, and what you think. You work in X field. You can talk about as much as you want to dox yourself with and whatnot. So we'll let you introduce yourself. I've been watching you for a lot of years. I think you have really good content. You have a lot of big breaks in your content sometimes, but so do I, so I understand. It happens. You get busy with life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're all about, man.
We're talking about me, right?
Yeah. You're the man.
Okay. So my name's Austin. I'm the host of Mid-Tier Thoughts, the YouTube channel, and the podcast. Been doing the podcast for a little bit longer than the YouTube. When it comes, as far as like background and everything, 10.5 years in the Navy, both active and reserve, and the expeditionary warfare community. Spent a lot of time working gun retail, and then now I'm in the security world. So I won't go too much into what I do with that. But outside of that, as far as like when it comes to like this food EBT thing, right, and the National Guard, I think one thing to remember with that too is like if you said it's 500 per state.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what they want to start with. Who knows if that'll expand or not? But
yeah, I would say that would be the thing I'd be more concerned about is if it starts to expand, because you got to remember, like I'm in Idaho, and I used to live in Washington. 500 people is not going to control a state. You know what I mean? Like that's barely Seattle. Like we had more than that down at the Seattle riots at BLM. So that's I think it's worrying in the beginning to be like, okay, is this going to expand or anything like that? I think you'll probably see those people placed in strategic areas for sure. Probably a lot more certain food centers, certain things like that, maybe more government-controlled places, things like that. But I think that it'll be interesting to see come November 1st how this rolls. I think we're going to start my hopeful side of this. The optimist is in me is people will finally figure out that like, oh, churches have food banks and things like that, right? The negative side to me is that people get really fucking stupid. Sorry, can I swear on here?
yeah, it is.
Okay. People get really fucking stupid when it comes to food. Whenever they get told they can't have it, and dude, we saw when COVID happened, how many people freaked out and killed each other over toilet paper, right?
Yep.
And now they're being
a lot of toilet paper during COVID.
Now they're being told you can't have food. I think that is going to be a little bit more of a worrying situation. I do think, like, realistically, we're a pretty fat country, like, realistically speaking.
Yeah,
I'm not skinny by any means, and I could definitely miss a meal. And there's a lot of people like that. So I don't think anyone's going to really drastically starve in that aspect. but I do think it will be interesting to see how this plays out for sure.
I agree. Back to the church thing. Sorry, guys, if you had a thought, hang on to it. I've already seen my church being taken advantage of in the last year and year and a half, 2 years ish. Just walking around doing whatnot. I have X amount of churches in my walking path, and I see people that come with way out of town plates, and they come in, they take, because we put diapers and whatever, because moms, that stuff's expensive. I see them take all the diapers and they rifle through and pick whatever they want out of it. And then I can literally walk to another church and see them at that church doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that stuff's, I think that should be held in the churches. I know they don't want to do it because some people won't go ask, but that pooled resource should be for your community. I live in a smaller town, so I think that stuff, if we're donating it, it should go to people in our town to help them. That's how I feel about it. So
yeah, I think it's a thin balance to walk, because you don't want, like, you want to be opening to everybody. If you're running if it's a church, for example, that's kind of the whole idea. Use it as a way to spread the gospel, is a different form of that, and like spreading out with help with that. So you want to be careful with that, to where you want to have an open door policy, but you also don't want to necessarily get taken advantage of. And so, like, the way my church structures it, which I think is pretty good, is they do it to where you got to you come in, you fill out this questionnaire thing, you fill out your information or whatever, right? And you get like a little card, and that's like got a number on it or whatever, right? And once you go in, you can't come back for 2 weeks, right? They'll give you 2 weeks worth of food, but you come back again in 2 weeks, right? And so you're not there every day taking other stuff. You're not just scamming the system. They keep track of everybody. Oh, you're John Smith. Okay, last time you were here was 2 weeks ago. Okay, go ahead. And so they do try to keep a little bit better track of that. They do like a financial assistance thing too, and I like the way that they do it, where they will give you a questionnaire. They'll require you to go to one sermon at least. Fill out the questionnaire, show that you were listening, right? And then you'll get your check next week. And the way they'll do it is it's like a bill pay service type of thing, where they can help you pay bills, and they won't give you the money directly. They'll address it to whoever you owe the money to. So again, trying to help people out without getting taken advantage of. But I think that that's one thing that a lot of people are going to have to start figuring out, is where their alternative resources are. And on top of this too, I know you're big into prepping and the food side of stuff. I watched a video where a woman said she got $4,200 in food stamps in a month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's okay.
More than me after taxes, bro. And I'm an engineer. Just saying.
I'm like, homie, if it's like, that's close to what I make a month. You know what I mean? Like, for everything. If I had $4,200 worth just for food, and I was worried about government shutdown, anything like that, dude, one trip to Costco, I'm good for 6 months.
Oh yeah.
Outside of perishables, you know how much crap you get. You know how much food you can buy for $4,200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I could literally eat all week, my family of 3, and even a guest or 2 for $35. Is it going to be the most extravagant? No, but like pork chops and rice, spaghetti and meatballs, who don't like that crap? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. You know how many Kraft's mac and cheese you can stack deep for $4,200?
Oh, yeah. You're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's my thing, is like, if that's your case, I mean, then this is just a mismanagement of resources, because you're expecting the next check to come no matter what. So you're just going to blow all the money instead of being like, you know what, there might be a day where this money doesn't come.
Right. And it's a farming thing. It's like farming here. Like, you have to spend your loan amount of money, because if you spend under it, you don't get that amount next year. And if you have to buy a combine the next year, which $600,000-$800,000 combine, you got to spend your $1 million. Well, that's a little bit different, because you're actually feeding and producing things for the entire world, because we export most of our stuff, right?
Well, you're operating a business.
Right.
You know?
But when you're going down the candy aisle, picking out one bag of everything, and you're going to eat it in a week, there's a reason why you're 600 fucking pounds, lady. You have fat storing on your forehead. Like, your body's run out of places to store it. You need to be doing something else with your life. Like, that's just disgusting.
Well, it's one thing, like, as I get older, like, younger me would have been like, oh, sick, I got extra money this check. Or like one of the things my work does is like a sick pay thing, right? To where if you don't use your sick days, you get cashed out at the end of the year, right? And so once a year, I get like an extra check, which is kind of nice, right? Younger me would have been like, sick, what cool gadget am I buying, right? Older me now is like, all right, cool. Let's put some of this aside. Let's put some of this into preps, and let's just not touch the rest of it, because I don't know when something's going to happen when I'm not going to get paid, And I've been through enough stuff in my life at this point where it's like I've been in that point between jobs where you're like, ugh, I lost my old job. My next job starts in a month and a half. How do I feed myself for 6 weeks? You know, and it really just comes down to just being smart with your resources, regardless of what they are. And if you're, especially if those resources are quote unquote guaranteed from the government, like don't be a retard. Just be like, okay, cool. Let's maybe stack some stuff deep. You know?
And I didn't know this, but somebody, I think I seen it on Pinball Preparedness or somebody else. Anyway, you can actually buy freeze-dried food in like the food buckets on food stamps.
Dude, like why would you not at least just once a month buy a bucket?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like when those Augustin Farms buckets were like $20 at Walmart, every time I went to the store, I bought one, and I bought a 20-pound bag of rice. If you're going to Walmart or whatever, there was no reason to not to. Now it's not that, but now it's like 27, 28. Not a great deal for what's in it, but it's still freeze dried,
I don't know if they still do this, but there used to be a commercial on TV on like Fox News that was like food for patriots, right? And there was those like Mylar bag freeze dried meals, right? And they would do a buy one get one, or buy one get two 72-hour kits. You pay for one, they send you 3. You just pay for shipping, right? Like
yeah, I literally have one over here I was eating out of.
Right. I used to do that every pay period when I was active duty, like before I got married, everything. Like I've been a prepper for a long time. And so I used to do that and just store those deep. And now I've probably got like at least 3 to 4 months of just those, right? Because for the last, I don't know, what, 13 years, I've done that like every paycheck, just on top of whatever I get, because it's just easy to fire and forget and be like, oh yeah, I should go do that, and it's easy to keep that away. And it's like, look, dude, or like anytime I worked for the Forest Service at one point, one summer, doing like security for fire camps, and they just gave away boxes of MREs, and it's like sick. Any chance you get to get some stuff stored away, like why would you not do that?
Yeah, I agree. And self-sustainability, I've gotten heavily into the canning. I'm 33, so I'm like super young doing old people stuff. And I got pressure canners. I need to get a gauge for one. I gotta check it. I probably need gauges and steels and stuff for the other one. But like an all-American canner, old one, like that's the gold standard for canning, pressure canning meat. I got one, but I'm gonna change all the gauges out before I even attempt to use it. Right? I just haven't gotten into it yet. Could I probably use it? Yeah, sure. But I've been remodeling and I'm getting ready to have back surgery, so it's not the year for me to can. But last year I did 300 jars of pasta sauce, first time. Now my family, my wife, won't eat store-bought pasta sauce because she's like, that tastes like crap compared to yours. And I'm like, score, I put up a whole bunch of pickles, and I cut 100 pounds dieting, green beans and pickles pretty much. I put all that up myself, grew most of it myself. So stuff you grow is A, healthier, B, you can do it again, and C, nobody can tell you what you can't do when you're growing it, unless they're going to come in and take it out of my yard.
Absolutely. I've talked about this on the podcast before when it comes to food. Is like, and I talked about it before in the open, and food's a weapon, and if you look at it this way, like there's so many different ways that the government can control your life, whether it be money, electricity, like different things, right? And the more of those things that you take into your hand and have redundancies over, specifically like food, for example, right? The more you're in control of your own life. If the government for some way comes in and says, hey, we're the ones giving out food now, right? But you've got a stockpile, no matter how large that stockpile is, that's that amount of time of your life that you don't have to answer to the government to get your food. You can feed yourself. You can take care of yourself.
Yep. I'm gonna walk back to a comment here. This is a new name for me. I seen Twin Arrow Survivals in here. What's up, brother? And I want to address it because this right here, Everyday Carry, I've heard of you before. I don't think I've seen you in my chat, so I appreciate you swinging through here, bro. The news is scaring people, and now YouTubers are sounding scared. I want to touch on that, but Democrats will cave in any day now. Y'all will see. Second part of that is I think the Democrats are going to come in saying they saved the day when they finally agree to. The reason why nothing's passed is because they're trying to pass multiple things on a bill when the Republicans put, I think 3 or 4 bills are like, okay, soldiers pay, nothing else in the bill. We're passing this. Okay, EBT, nothing else in the bill. We're going to pass this. And they said no. And, they'd probably say no if it's we have the cure for cancer. We're going to pass this. They'd say no, not unless we can give, blue-haired people abortion rights and $50,000 to sit on their ass for the year. You know what I mean? Like,
I think one thing to remember with this too is when it comes to like sounding scared is that, or the Democrats will cave in any day thing is that they could absolutely, and I hope they do. I hope they cave. I hope we get the CR passed through. I hope everything works out. But at the same time, we got to remember these are the same people who cheered on assassinations. These are the same people who are cheering on the killing of federal agents. These are the same people who are cheering on riots. These are the same people who have no problem starting riots like they did in 2020. The same people who are encouraging it now. The same people who have called everybody on right of the spectrum, Nazis, fascists, whatever, left, right, and center.
Yeah, their rhetoric.
These are people who are not afraid to cause violence and use it politically. So I don't necessarily see it. They don't care about these people, first off, and I don't see them having any problem with this going past and people suffering for it. And right now, they already don't. They don't. 1 second, sorry. They don't care. I don't think about whether or not this hurts people. Like, if it causes violence, that's actually better for them because they've already turned around and blamed it on Trump right now, even though they're the ones canceling the vote. I see having them no problem with them turning right around and being like, okay, look, now all these riots, all these problems, all this violence, this is all Trump's fault. Like that would actually be an ideal scenario for them is to let the food stamps lapse, let stuff happen, and then swoop in after. Because now they can be the savior to the people after the riots has started, because there's nothing to save prior to that. They want people to feel it first, and then they can come in and save the day if they're going to do that at all. So I don't know. To me, it just feels like from everything we've seen that there's no leverage in this for them to give up before the first.
Right. I do want to.
That's just my take.
No, I agree with you. And I think it's the next step to something a little bit more sinister, 1984 style. But I want to get back to YouTubers are sounding scared. Okay. When I did a couple stock runs this week and I made shorts on it, just some canned stuff, just rounding out stuff. It's holiday season. That stuff goes. I just went and got 3 more turkeys today because they were on sale for 84 cents a turkey, or 84 cents a pound. Okay. That's dirt cheap. Guess what? I'll eat turkey for 2 weeks off of that sucker for me and my family. I'll make turkey and noodles. I'll make freaking shepherd's pie with it. Like I'll make turkey sandwiches, like all that crap, right? So that's a ton of food for my family for $13 for a 16-pound turkey. Deal, like all day long. We're eating good for 2 weeks. So I bought all that, and you're dumb if you're not buying, food at the right time. I don't just run out and buy. I've said it before. I wait every year to buy 3 to 4 cases of canned tuna until it hits 50 cents a can. It happens at one store near me one time a year, and I go in and I take a cart of tuna. And last time I was in there, some gal freaked out. She's like, well, you're taking all the tuna. And I looked at her and said, I wait all year for this sale. And I eat a lot of tuna on my diet. I was like, I cut 100 pounds. I'm like, I still might have tits, but, I can almost see my wiener again, leave me alone. But when I'm telling people this, okay, I am not scared to go into a store by myself. Okay? When it's just me and I don't have to worry about it. If I go in with my wife and my child, the reason to stock up before chaos is supposed to quote unquote hit, and they've also dropped a hard date of November 3rd. I don't know if anybody's seen that, where they're trying to coordinate people on November 3rd. Guess what? We're not going to go to the store next week. I didn't need to go to the store next week anyway, except for like milk and some sourdough bread and whatever, I need lasagna noodles because I'm putting lasagna up in the freezer for when I have surgery for my wife because I'm the cook. Anyway, so when I'm telling you this, it's not to be scared. And I have seen the YouTubers pushing the fearmonger thing, right? But you don't need to go clear out all your food supply. I don't have everything in my house. I have 20% here, 10% there, a couple of You don't keep all your eggs in one basket. And now I'm getting eggs in my basket because my chicken started producing eggs, and I don't need to buy eggs anymore. So that's awesome.
Well, I think there's a difference too between being scared and being aware of potential scenarios, right? Because the idea is the potential. It's a non-zero potential, right? That something happens, right? And so if we just say, it's never going to happen, whatever, it's not a big deal. And then something does happen. You're like, well, fuck. It's like, I would much rather have to be like, oh, you know what? That guy on YouTube was right. Nothing happened. We all look like assholes now. Right. I'd much rather be that guy and be like, oh, I guess we're just a bunch of fear-mongering douchebags than be the guy who's like, oh, no, everyone, you're fine. And then the government doesn't open till the 15th. And And the 2 weeks in the meantime, everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
Right.
Dang it, that guy was wrong. I'm over here sitting on my pile of food that's was cheaper yesterday than it is today.
Right.
I was just about to say that. Shucks. Went out and I got an extra week's worth of groceries. And it's going to cost way less than what I would have paid next week.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And now's the best time to stock up on like your canned stuff.
Oh no, everyone's getting MREs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We were getting some good deals on MREs. We were talking about it. But, Show Intel, what's up, bro? Thanks for swinging on in. Rebel Spirit. Yeah, man, it's crazy. But keeping a level head, I think, is the best. I don't think. Well, let's get into the next scenario. Well, Pat Wright, Justin B, you guys got anything to say in there? I was flapping my gums too much.
Nope.
All right.
What did you get your turkey at though? What'd you say? 88 cents a pound?
84 cents a pound. They got 84? Butterball at Wally World for 97 cents, and then they got some other brand. Let me look at it real quick. Hang on, I got the freezer right here.
Well, because what was it? Several weeks ago when I told you I went and picked up mine at 82 cents, it's already gone up. Because I got mine a couple weeks ago at 82 cents, and I've got to get them out of the smoker. But
I wonder how much of that though is just the closer we get to Thanksgiving, just trying to increase the price.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Genio?
Yeah.
I don't know. Never heard of it.
It's
Hopefully they didn't have sex with
you buy pumpkin.
they did last year.
Genio and Butterball are the two brands that Walmart carries.
Yeah. 84 cents a pound. That's dirt cheap protein, man.
Mm-hmm. It's cheaper than leg quarters.
Yeah. Cheaper than chicken, man. Anyway, so I don't know what I missed in between my jog to my standing freezer and now, but all right, I wrote down a couple things here. All right, so a thing I like to ask a lot of new people. I don't know if you've ever watched Wired Tight. He used to have a lot of people on Mondays, and I was on with Wired Tight, and I kind of got this idea. A lot of people in the prepping / gun tube sphere are very not knowledgeable on the food side, and I like to think I'm a happy blend. And I'm getting heavier into medical, and I'm starting to get into comms. Out here, we just use smoke signals and hollering real loud. But no, it's mostly CB out here because like it's flat, and then the big like areas that are mountainous and canyonous, like you don't get signal anyway. So you either ride a 4-wheeler or a horse and say, "Hey, get the fuck out of there!" You know, like that's about it in Nebraska. So
yeah.
So a thing I like to drop is your EDC loadout. So you're new to a lot of people. I'm sure most people here probably know you, but let's hear what you got, and then I got a couple questions on your EDC if I see something missing from me.
Yeah. So normally my normal EDC, I rock a Gen 5 Glock 19. I've switched up lights back and forth right now. I'm just I have the SIG Foxtrot light that they have. Decided to try that out. So I've got that on there right now. Usually carry an extra mag with a knockoff Neo mag. It's basically like the 3-sided piece of metal clip that fits on the side of your magazine, so it looks like a pocket knife when it's in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I'll carry a Spyderco Delica. Usually have a tourniquet nearby, and most of the stuff the rest of the stuff's either in my truck or in my house. So that's as far as what's on my body. That's about it.
What gun belt do you like to run?
I've got a Core Essentials belt that I run.
I love my Core belt. I've been running it I used to do armed security as well for about 4 years before I went back to HVAC. I hurt myself as an HVAC tech, switched to armed security, wrote off all my work comp rights to wear a plate carrier and a duty rig, and then now I'm an HVAC engineer again. So it's way better insurance. I don't have to worry about getting shot to use my insurance. So
There's that.
Yeah. So that's good. I carry OC spray because I believe in non-lethal. Not to mention, I've been bit by dogs, and we have a lot of dogs on walks, and I'm not having my son bit by a dog. So I carry spray for that. I carry a flashlight that's not attached to my gun because I use my flashlight all the dang time. Every single day I use my flashlight. It's handy. And then a question I've been bouncing back and forth on. You said something about medical. I have increased medical to 2 tourniquets. I carry a snake staff up in the front where I used to carry a fixed blade because I decided that I don't need to carry a fixed blade anymore because A, I don't know knife fighting, and B, I'm probably going to need a tourniquet more than I need a fixed blade in my life. I'm going to stumble along a wreck, or somebody's going to cut their leg with an axe or a chainsaw or something when we're doing wood cutting, something like that. So I decided to delete that because the likelihood that I'm going to need that over my pew-pew is 0. I'm going to take my gun over a fixed blade knife every time.
Right.
For lethal. Still do a folder, that's just man shit. How many mags?
I usually have one on me plus one in the gun. The one in the gun plus an extra one. So usually, like in my truck, which I'm never really that far from, or in my wife's vehicle or whatever. In the vehicle, I usually have extra stuff. So like I've got full-fledged IFAKs in all of our vehicles. Usually an extra mag or two. I've got like go bags in all of our vehicles, things like that. So as far as like the on me EDC, I'm not usually too far from it. But I will carry 2 mags. The idea behind that is that I've got 15 in the gun. I'll usually carry a 17 round mag backup. And I'm more concerned about, I'm not concerned about getting into a situation where I need 32 rounds or where, or like if I have a malfunction or something, I've got a backup mag.
Right. I asked that because I used to carry 3 mags, and then we got into a legal discussion where really, if you're fighting it out with 3 mags, you're probably in a really bad spot, and or you're definitely not getting out of jail when you go in. Most private citizens, I think, and sometimes I'll throw an extra one in my back pocket, but I just take it out of the door of my vehicle. I got one on each side of the door in each vehicle, so whichever side I approach the vehicle, I have a reload. Or if my wife or somebody needs to hand me a mag, they can do so. They know where it's at. I have a tourniquet in each door. Speaking of medical, have you heard of the Sam Slishman?
The Sam Slishman?
Yeah, it is a pressure wrap. You can use it as a tourniquet, a sling, a splint. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. It is made for kids and dogs. For people where a tourniquet cannot actually apply enough pressure to the bone structure to create a stoppage. It's $10. It fits in your back pocket. It weighs nothing. So my buddy Jay at the Prepared Citizens TG, he sells it. Sam Slishman actually came up with this. He was over in a war-torn area treating kids with injuries. He was using medical tubing as basically a rats, and it provides rats, right? And he invented this thing. They've shot it with a shotgun, a 9mm. It still will stop the bleed. It has Velcro. It goes one way. You cinch it down. You spin it all the way around. You cannot screw it up. I showed my wife how to use it one time. She knows how to use it. I showed my 4-year-old son how to use it. He knows how to use it. He has one in his backpack in case of like active shooting scenario, whatever, right? I carry one every single day. It's TSA approved. I flew with one. I got back from Florida last week. I literally showed a guy in the aisle on the plane how to apply a Slishman tourniquet on my arm because he was telling me he worked with at-risk youth in Florida and blah, blah, blah. I was like, hey, man, I got these in our church. I got these in our school. They're dummy-proof. Anybody can run them. You should implement this. I was like, watch this 5-minute YouTube video on how to do it. I'll show you how to do it, and then teach somebody else how to do it. And either give this one to them and buy another one for $10, or wherever you're at, buy one, put it in your car, whatever your facility, buy 10 of them, So at a school close to me that my son will be going to, they have 20 Slishmans per floor spread out amongst the classroom with tourniquets, and they have defibrillators and everything. I was like, you guys do your defib training. You guys do your CPR training. You guys can't take 30 seconds to learn how to use this. And we ran through an active shooter drill with them. I played bad guy with the police. I'm friends with the cops and stuff. We did an active shooter drill with the teachers. So we implemented a medical-ish with it too. And I'm not a pro by any means, but I think it's really important. And it's important to me having a child that I have the right thing to stop a bleed. So, yeah, I don't know if you get bored, you should check one out. They're awesome.
And it will work on adults.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, they work on adults. Pat has a video on it stopping the bleed with his pulsometer. You can't. It works great.
I've done it with mine. Like it works.
Yeah. Like the stewardess on the plane came and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm showing this guy how to apply a tourniquet on the plane." She's like, "Oh, that's interesting." She's like, "Just do it in your seat." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." I'm like, nothing crazy here. So,
no, yeah, that's pretty.
Should have told her there's snakes on the plane. I'm trying to stop the venom.
So super cool. I've been.
And I mean, and as far as they go, like, you know, my 3-year-old son knows how to. My 3-year-old son can put one on tight enough in a decent amount of time to stop a bleed on me. Like, they're dummy proof, completely dummy proof.
Britton Grace dropped his link here, and Jay is a friend, and I do have a discount code TMT for 10% off. So I mean, they're $10. You know.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out for sure.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I think so.
Rebel Spirit Operations says his EDC is he just carries a flask full of gasoline, a Zippo, and a small bottle of KY jelly. Nice.
Hey,
only a small bottle?
Hey, that would 100% throw me off if I was trying to cause you problems. Like, homie just doused himself with gasoline. I don't even know what's going on right now.
Yeah, now he wants to have sex with me. It's a small bottle because it matches his wee-wee. It's a good time.
I've always joked around, you know, like if you're carrying and someone like comes up behind you to rob you at an ATM, just point the gun at your own head. Just be like, I'll fucking kill him. I'll do it.
I like it.
Just change that guy's life forever. Just everyone will be like, what is happening?
I'm going to run at him naked. He'll be like, oh my God, is that a guy or a girl? I'm like, we'll see what touches the wall first, bitch. Come here.
It's 2025.
That's an actual tactic that a lot of people teach, is just to act crazy or say something completely off the wall because it like throws off their OODA loop. Like they have to completely people just don't want to mess with crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Just immediately shit my pants.
You're going to kidnap me. You're going to have to smell it, baby. It's Taco Bell night. We have fun here. Rule, what's up, bro? We need to do a chat, Rule. He's a good dude.
The people not wanting to mess with crazy may be a little bit area dependent because, you know, like Florida man's a thing.
Savage Airgun said, as he said, I wouldn't fight a man who stripped naked in front of me. Before fighting, I'd bounce. It's a solid strategy, everybody. Just saying.
Get naked, be a man.
Yeah. That's good. So yeah, man, bumping up medical big time is kind of my preach. My preach is I've downsized a lot of pews in favor of more solar off-grid capability, more self-sustaining ability. I'm really about ready to pull the trigger on quail this year, and my father-in-law wants to do rabbits with me, so we may be implementing rabbits as well. And my wife told me I can't expand my gorilla garden into the yard anymore, and I have 5 new patches that I'm expanding into the yard next year, so she's just gonna have to get over it. And yeah, man, I'm doing it. You know, I don't have an acreage. I have at bug out location 1. But I'm not at bug out location 1. So I think if you have a MAG, a mutual assistance group, everybody should be doing what they can to self-sustain in place, because that worst case scenario, you can come back and either, like if I move, I'm taking my dirt with me. I got about $3,000 in dirt. So I'm taking my dirt with me. Like I've made delicious, delectable dirt and I'm bringing it with.
You know, in a perfect world, in my ideal society, the Swiss have a really interesting model. I don't know if they still do this, but they used to back in the day, where they would set their houses up, 2 pointed this way, 2 pointed that way, with the 4 yards in the middle, right? And each person would grow a different crop. So they could, you grow carrots, I grow onions, he grows potatoes, and he grows corn, right? And then you're able to swap amongst yourselves, and then each set of houses does the same thing, right? So you're all able to intermingle with your different crops and kind of help each other out. And in a perfect world, right? Again, some form of that when it comes to, like you said, mutual assistance groups, whatever your group is, would be awesome to, one that if everyone's on the same kind of page and everyone can contribute something like that, because people gotta eat.
Yep. Yes, Rebel. If I ever move, I'm taking my dirt with me.
Well, I mean, I grew an abundance of cucumbers. Like I had cukes coming out of my butt, and I'll tell you what, I ended up finding people to trade with.
You've been hanging out with Rebel too much.
This is not that kind of chat.
Coming out your butt.
That's a quick way to pickle. It's an old Scottish technique.
That's where all the KY jelly was.
Yeah. That's disgusting. No, man, it's good. Pat, he's getting ready. You're getting ready to look. He's looking at just selling his house. He's got his wife about 100% on board to move out and do the homestead thing. Take it away, Pat. Tell him your next big prep.
Hopefully the plan is there's enough equity in my house. I'm hoping to have in the neighborhood of 150 when I sell the house. But instead of waiting for the house to sell, I think I might do a home equity line of credit first. That way I can actually access the money and go buy the property before my house is sold, and then just pay everything off when the house sells.
There you go.
So we're all moving in with Pat, is what I'm saying.
I'm looking in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 acres in eastern Tennessee somewhere.
There you go.
That's awesome. So that's what we strive for.
Yeah, ideally. That's the goal, right? That's the ideal goal.
Yeah. So I use common numbers here for everything. I either say 4, 10, or a flat of like canned food or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you have 10 families, say it's a family of 4 for all the families, and you do the crop share technique, and you do this guy's a good carpenter, this guy's a good butcher, this guy's a good farmer, this guy's a good trapper hunter, this guy's a good, maybe this gal's a great teacher, because they're going to have kids. Maybe you got your medical person, you got your veterinarian for all your animal husbandry, livestock. It takes all kinds of skills, and there's no one person, no matter how super autistic ADHD you can be, to master all of them. You can be decent at some. And I think if you cross-train everybody, and then you have some military, some security guys in there, cops, all that cross-training, you should have an apprentice for everybody for one thing and rotate. But I think it takes strong values, strong morals, a good mental compass from everybody, and usually that stems in religion, right? So
I would say that's the easiest way, I think, to get to a baseline of general morality. Yeah.
I like it. So that was good. So I'm glad we got your EDC there. Do you think that you've implemented and or ever carried the OC or the I'm sorry, I'm jumping way back. I have notes. Or the alternate flashlight or fixed blade at any point, or more mags than just 2, or
I'm sorry. What was
it on duty?
What's the question?
I went way back to the EDC thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever just thought about and or carried the OC and all that extra light?
Yeah, so I've got a thing of OC in my truck just in case I need it. So I've got that in the vehicle in case I need it. I haven't really ever used it. I've carried it before. When I was in the reserves and I'd have to fly, go to other states and things like that. Part of my unit, we would go down to California a lot, so I usually take it with me down there just because I can't bring the gun with me on the plane or anything like that, and it's not legal in California. So I'd usually have that with me, something like that. As far as I've been in, if I go to like a sketchier part of town or like a different area, or if I have to go see my in-laws over on the West Coast, I'll usually pack an extra mag, something like that. I mean, yeah, it's not as strict, this is what I carry. I have my baseline of what I carry every day, but it adjusts and ebbs and flows depending on the situation.
Yep. I like to say most people don't do the OC. I like Palm. I know some people like Saber. I've been seeing in the police community, security community, that I'm still like good old boys networking. A lot of people are running some kind of Fox OC now. Apparently that's like super hot. I have no experience with that, but Palm is my go-to. Part of my EDC training is my old lady doesn't like to carry firearms. So if we go someplace, especially extra urban, I'll rotate. I usually carry it up in my left pocket, but I'll rotate it in my back left pocket. And she knows if it's rotated back there, we're in a pretty sketch situation. And her job is to take the OC spray and the child and exfil. So she has something on her. I will carry something for her to take with her.
Yeah.
So I really like that. All right. Yeah. Anybody got anything they want to throw in there? Dot or no dot on your gun?
No dot. Not necessarily that. Not for like any particular reason. Just I have a stock Gen 5 with night sights, or I have the American night sights on it. I don't have an MOS model, and I'm too lazy and too poor to care to cut one.
Understand?
So, yeah, I've got guns with dots on them, just not my EDC.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
There's a product out there called the AIM, like Advanced Iron something. It's basically a square-ish kind of ghost ring that goes into your normal iron sight slots on your pistol, and it's very similar to a red dot, and it's not much bigger than your regular iron sights.
I think I've seen something like that before. I'm just not too familiar with it.
Yeah. I think it's like 300 muffins. Actually, I was on a panel with that guy with Wired Tight. Wired Tight and that guy are buddies.
Oh,
So the
interesting.
guy who actually invented that site, we were talking about.
I think they're 200, but they're supposed to be going on clearance at some point, down to like 120. I think he said.
Yeah.
Because they're coming out with the next version. And the other thing that we had discussed previously about all the rumor about the T attacks, the coordinated everywhere, everything everywhere all at once.
These are code for terrorists.
Yeah, and that we were plussing up on our magazines here, there, and everywhere just because the LCP in my pocket wasn't going to cut it.
Right.
Yeah, the other thing too, I think for me with the EDC thing is, so I live in Idaho, but I work in Washington, and it's like 20 minutes from my house to the border of the state, and I go from land of the free to the People's Republic of Washington, and I have to change up if I'm going to carry over there, I have to change the gun I'm bringing in with me, so that usually changes up too. So usually the only place I go anymore in Washington is to work, and I can't carry at my work, so don't really usually worry about that. But if I do have to go over there, or if I'm going to go do something somewhere, I do have to switch up my gun to be something that's like 10-round compliant.
Damn.
So,
I mean, it's against the rules to carry at your work, but it's not that you can't carry at work.
Yeah, I've
It's
never
just against the rules.
where I wasn't supposed
yeah,
to.
let me put it that way. I'm not supposed to have I'm not supposed to have a private firearm at my location and where I work. So
yeah, it's a paperweight. I mean, it's good to go. It's totally different. It's a KY jelly, holster. Good to go.
I do not have for anyone listening, I do not have a personal firearm in my vehicle on my way at work at all. I would not do that. I do not do that.
Yeah, he's a good person.
Yep.
Leave him alone.
Yep.
And I also am not carrying a firearm in my truck going through New Mexico right now.
Yeah, see, I believe it. He wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah, you're a good person. With the T attacks, I don't know if you ever listened to the book The Day of Wrath by J.R. Foreskin, the guy who wrote 1 Second After.
I'm sorry, did you say his last name is Foreskin?
Yes, I always say that because it's way more funny.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I know, right? No, that's not how you say his name, but that's how I always say it because it's the best. And not many people catch it. Good job. I love catching Foreskin.
Does the book get cut off about 8 days in?
No, it just keeps going. But yeah, it's more of a younger age. They have like a what is that? They call that a Brits or a Brie or whatever. I don't know. I'm not Jewish. A snipping party, if you will. No. Both books are great. You should listen to both. I have a breakdown audiobook series on my Discord. I don't know if you have a Discord or not, but I have a whole audiobook section that's free of prepping stuff. So check that out if you like. The Day of Wrath is based off of the the gal that's been on Sean Ryan talking about the terrorist attack.
Yeah, the blonde lady.
Yeah,
I can never remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
she's like CIA or something like that.
Sarah Adams.
Sarah Adams, that's it. Yeah.
Super bad.
This plan's been on the CIA books for the last 20 years, where they basically do multi-state attack, multiple areas of attack, 4 to 6 guys in a group, full auto, body armor. First attack is to draw in first responders, attack first responders, and then attack hospitals, so you don't have a higher level of care. And then after that, it's you go until you get dropped because their religion surrender's not an option. So they martyr through blood.
Martyrdom, yeah.
Right. So the more they kill, the more virgins they get wherever they go. Right.
Right.
So that's a legit thing that's been in, and it's been in a lot of huge prepping. I mean, Sean Ryan has been in a lot of Survival Dispatch has been talking about it like every other day. Huge channels, huge military backgrounds, huge guys that are still plugged in. Probably going to happen one of these days since we just let in 30 to 50 million illegals in the last 4 years previous. Probably some bad actors on board, right?
Right.
So with that, I was up to long gun and body armor and everything, and then you have all these shootings and assassinations, and then if you're the guy who gets pulled over, like that Charlie Kirk one, they pulled over two guys. They seemed like a BB gun on this one guy's van, and the guy was like living in his van.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like his theft deterrent. They arrested that guy. Anybody they seen, if you're a 2A guy, I mean, they're looking for 511 pants. They're looking for whatever. You know what a gun guy looks like if you work security, law enforcement, military. You're a gun guy. So if you know what you look like, you know what everybody else looks like. So you're looking for that stuff, right? They wrap you up in one of those deals. You're wrapped up in prison until they clear you, and you're not at home helping your family, right? So I downloaded what I was carrying. I still carry I carry a sub 2K. It fits my Glock mags. It's the best accessory for a Glock. I love it, and it's not something I care about if it walks off too much.
The best accessory for a Glock. I love that.
It is. I
That
mean,
should be in their. That should be in their advertising material.
it's cheap. It's cheaper than getting like a mini Ronin kit or something shit like that, you know. Or I guess you could do like a what is that? That little pistol brace thing that you can like put your Glock in, whatever. Would take too much time, like a Recover Tactical 2020 or something like that. Like you could do that too. I could see that. So question is, for Minecraft, are you or are you not on the long gun game?
I mean, like as far as like EDC,
Truck EDC.
I mean, like look, I won't leave one in the vehicle, but usually if I go outside of a set radius of my house, if I go outside of a certain distance, I'm packing a long gun of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going over to Washington, just depending on the scenario, I'm usually packing a shotgun with me, just because I don't feel like dealing with the legal side of things. But you know, usually I'm packing an AR or some type of rifle or shotgun, something like that with me. Just kind of mix it up, whatever it is. Part of that too, I think, with what you're saying earlier, you know, is it definitely depends on the area you're at. Like I'm up in North Idaho, and anyone who's up in this area knows that like 511 pants, dressing like a gun guy, that you don't stand out up here like that because everyone is dressed like that. Blue jeans, flannels, and gun shirts. Like 911 is the official, like not 911, sorry, 511. Jesus. And Nine Line is like the official clothing brand of North Idaho, right? Like I was just joking around with this, my buddy at church. We were sitting down and counting how many people were wearing Nine Line shirts. You know, looking like a gun guy or your favorite YouTube tactical instructor is basically the official clothing of North Idaho. So you don't stand out too bad there. But if I were to go into Spokane, you know, I stand out a little bit different. So Spokane's about 20 minutes away, and on the Washington side, it's a big city in Spokane, or a big city in Washington. You look, you know, you do stand out a little bit more there. So, you know your audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything against taking a rifle in the vehicle. Like I said, usually when I go on longer drives, the further away I am from the home, the more gun I bring with me. That's kind of my general rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And the more stuff I'll bring with me. It's because you never know, right?
Agreed.
But yeah, I think that's something to think about for sure.
I dig it. All right, Pat, Justin B, what do you guys got to say on that topic?
I don't wear like 511 pants or anything like that, just because I'd rather blend in and not look like it.
That's a little bit harder in Florida. You get a lot of older people there. They're like, "Oh, what's this 5.11 you're wearing, Sonny, with your Carhartt shirt?"
You know, one thing I think with that too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm a little bit guilty of the tactical pants. Most of the time, I'm just wearing like cargo shorts though, which are basically the same thing. And I definitely don't stand out in, you know, central Pennsylvania or western Maryland. You know, if you're wearing a t-shirt and some camo shorts, you just look like every other guy. So, and it's basically the same thing. So in my area, I don't stand out, and being able to be prepared in that situation. I do know there's a few companies out there. I want to say maybe LA Police Gear. They have just regular looking jeans, but they have like bigger pockets in the back for like magazines and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have an AR mag and a pistol mag area. Those are what I used to wear when I did security because they blended in the best, and then I could still wear them IRL without too much fuss. Got a lawfully armed here. What's up, buddy?
Hello.
But in Nebraska, I mean, it's flannels and Carhartts and blue jeans and a ball cap, and you look like every other dude. So that's what I wear, and they're comfortable and functional.
And that's why you got to carry so much on your belt line, because of the regular old blue jeans.
Yeah, fair enough. But that core belt carries well, so we're good to go.
Catch me up.
Catch you up. We're going through the EBT SHTF possible crises. We're talking about mid-tier's EDC and thoughts and discussing it, plussing up on a long gun. Yay, nay, how many mags, getting into legal stuff, what you think. Next topic is armor. Now you get kind of a gray area because you work security, so you can probably be seen carrying armor back and forth, whatnot. A little bit easier. I plus up on armor if I go outside of a certain radius as well. And I carry soft every single day. That's just what I carry. I still do some armed security gigs on the side. That's what I wear. You can't see it on me. I'm a big fat dude with a flannel. You can't see it. So I'd rather have it than not and be in front of my family in the danger and be a barrier. That's my choice. I downgraded from a plate carrier because A, I destroyed my back working out in it last year, and B, I can't carry it with my back anymore. So no more plate carrier for me unless it's boogaloo time. So
We die like men here.
Yeah.
No body armor.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I keep my soft armor at work, where in my locker, so it stays there. But I don't usually rock body armor on me. I have it at home. It usually stays here, even if I'm going out of town. So I'm usually packing a smaller chest rig, because that's usually it. I figure at that point, if it's my time, God will take me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my thing. I mean, like I have my, whether it be a helmet, whether it be body armor, whatever it is, I usually keep that back at the homestead. But as far as like stuff on the road, I haven't usually brought armor with me. If I'm bringing anything, it's usually a chest rig.
Gotcha. We've talked about, especially with the T attacks, plussing up your kid's backpack with like a backpack panel. That's kind of an intermediate, having a panel here, there, whatever. You can slip it in any backpack, laptop case, whatever. And now with like Safeline's Hyperlink, they're super light and they're rifle plate rated. I don't know how many hit they're rated, but they're rifle rated. They're not cheap, but freaking awesome. So it's a pretty good option, I feel.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea for sure. Especially like another thing too is I've got like one of those Vertex sling bags.
Mm-hmm.
That it has a panel for it to you could fit one of those plates in there. If you had something like that, you could bring with you. There's a ton of options out there, just whether or not it works for you if that's something you want to do. But yeah, there's definitely tons of options.
Right. What do you think, other guys? Anybody can hop in. I don't care.
I don't take armor with me anywhere I go, and I've since removed it from my, quote unquote go to war setup. I don't plan on wearing armor at all. I'm too old, too slow to carry that much extra weight.
Yeah, mine's in the Alamo loadout as well.
Somebody said something that kind of stuck with me. Like, if you're gonna wear a plate, you have to trust that the person shooting at you is skilled enough to hit you center mass, and like the chances of you getting shot somewhere other than that plate are pretty high, and they get even higher because I'm carrying around so much weight carrying that plate. So I think I'll take the mobility.
Wears body armor, wears helmet, gets shot in dick.
Right.
Yeah.
Pat fights naked. He's like a sumo wrestler.
We did go over that, actually. You missed that.
Yeah, the KY jelly
High
was
speed, low drag.
I don't know. There's a lot of drag with my hammer.
Mid speed, let's drag.
Yeah. It looks like a flying squirrel just catches all that air.
God. He's got his Tanuki suit.
That's good. Jacob 2A guy needs to find a good concealed holster or concealed belt, IDK. I rock QVO, quick violent over, and a core belt, man. It works. I'm in talks with the Armsman. Going to try and do a holster with him. I'll let you guys know. For me, the Fat Tack holster from Josh did not work because I wear my belt too tight. But if I would wear just like shorts or sweatpants like he does, it works. It's a thinner Kydex, so I cannot re-index my firearm because I wear my belt too tight and I'm fat. So if that's not a problem for you and you're a skinny dude, it might work for you. Fat Tack did have pretty good clips I like. So those are some holsters that I like.
Yeah, core belt's good. We the People holsters, 1791. If you want like super concealment, the Raven Vanguard's a really good holster. It's just one of those trigger guard holsters. Probably the problem with that was when I would wear it with like I've got shorts that are like they're not silk, but they're like that silky style material. They're like normal shorts though. They're not like basketball shorts. And because my front side's exposed on that, they kept ripping holes in the crotch of my shorts.
No.
Yeah, so
just tell them you're hung.
Be cognizant of that.
My favorites are the Fat Guy holster, which is very similar to the Fat Tack. It rides much lower in your belt line than a normal concealed holster does. That's for my appendix. But if you like to carry in the 3 o'clock position, I like the alien gear, Shapeshift.
Oh, that's the one Lawfully told me not to do a deal with them. What a dick.
Some people poo-poo all over them, but I loved it. The Shapeshift, you could turn into a bunch of different holsters. So if you didn't know how you wanted to carry, you could try all the ways. It was pretty nice. But I have a couple of hybrid holsters from Alien Gear that are like neoprene on the back, but then Kydex on the front. If I carry 3 o'clock position, those are my favorite. Those are stupid comfortable. And sometimes you just forget you're wearing them.
Mm-hmm.
The only trick is if you're chunky, you have to wear a nice long shirt.
Yeah.
You know, funny story about Alien Gear. I actually live like less than 15 minutes from Alien Gear. And then in the same town as me, just actually like 4 blocks away, is Gunfighters Inc.
Oh,
and
nice.
and then G9 Ammo is also in the same area. So we're Genesis Arms, the guys that make that badass 12 gauge, they're here. Grey Ghost Precision is just down the road, the 2 towns over. So yeah.
We'll send out some
Small
goodies
world.
to everybody. Jeez.
Right? Believe me, I've tried.
Mike Tango
Mr.
Whiskey 1, what up, brother?
Small world, Mr. Tedder that started Alien Gear. His first company was I cannot think of it. Stage Amnesia. Hang on, I'll go look. Anyways, he got his start here local to me, and then he made it big time and moved.
Nice. Mike Tango Whiskey 1, check your email, brother. I'm trying to do a chat with you Sunday. I think it's your day. He's a good dude. All right. Let's hit up the next. Anybody else, Justin B., you got anything on that?
Not really. Not really, because what has it been for the last several weeks and probably until the middle of next year, I'm not going to be, I got an off-body carry, so.
Right.
Yeah, because I won't be able to draw from any position quickly enough.
He got fucked up by an emu. Broke his ribs. I seen him IRL last week, and you were sling bag carrying that 43X, baby.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Just tape the gun to your hands. Like Edward 40 hands with 2 blocks. You'd be great.
Be fine.
What up, Nastic? How you doing, brother? Lawfully said, what would you say, Safariland belt? Is that next Clicks belt or whatever you were telling me about?
Yeah, next belt OEMs, the Safariland belts and the Blade Tech. I've got 2 of the Safariland and 1 of the Blade Tech.
Nice.
They're like nominally $50 street price, which is what you pay for a pair of dad shoes. So like, if you get a couple years out of it, that was worth it.
Nice. Mike Tango
I
whiskey.
prefer the John.
Here.
I prefer the John McClane carry. I just duct tape it to my skin.
Nice. That's hot.
Do you use the whole roll of duct tape or just half?
Just a couple.
I got an ass crack that goes to my shoulder blades because I'm a certified plumber, so I can
And the
just
hair,
wave it.
I'm kind of like, Sasquatch mistakes me for his brother. So the hair just kind of hangs onto it really good.
I thought you were going to say you were hairless.
Oh my!
And really lean into that.
We need to have your wife
Must be
on one
low
day.
drag.
Getting in trouble. All right.
Why? He's not talking about her body hair.
That's true. We need confirmation here, though. All right, we're gonna go to another topic. Since most prepping channels and gun channels talk about the guns, we need to talk about stuff that's actually going to keep you alive, right? Because that's what my channel's about. It's more than just guns. So, what's your SHTF food stock duration that you think's a minimum for everybody to have? Do you think it's like a week's worth, a month's worth, 6 months worth, 1 year? I am currently working on 7 years because that's what the Bible tells you to have, and that is a metric shitload of food. I don't know if you're aware of how much a year's worth of food looks like, but it's a lot, and it takes a shitload of space. I'm past that, and I'm not at 7 years, but I'm somewhere in between a year and 7.
Yeah, I would say like I like to tier this, right? I said like, look, if you're just some dude starting out, like you wake up tomorrow and you're like, I'm an idiot and I need to get prepared like tomorrow, right? Start with 2 weeks, right? Get it at least a minimum of 2 weeks food supplies, right? Most scenarios that aren't complete grid down kind of crap, you could probably substitute stuff over that for 2 weeks, or you could stretch 2 weeks to last longer if you needed to. Right. Outside of something completely devastating, like a grid down scenario or like Hurricane Helene type of stuff, where you're just completely isolated, 2 weeks will probably in the modern day get you through most scenarios at a minimum. After that, if you get to 2 weeks, go to a month, right? You get to a month, go to 3, you get to 3, go to 6, go to 6, go to a year, and then just keep doubling it after that. So always have a goal to where like once you get to like a year's worth of food, don't just be like, oh, I'm good at a year, I'm good, because stuff does expire, stuff needs to rotate. I would say if you can get to a year, that's where I would say would be a happy place to be. And it's where I think you could kind of come off the brakes a little bit and then focus on other things. But yeah, I would say at a minimum, a bare minimum, 2 weeks, bare minimum, 2 weeks. And then obviously preferably a month, preferably 3, preferably 6, preferably a year.
Love it. Any alternating opinions on that, or?
Well, when I know me personally, when I got to after my second goal got accomplished, I started going after doing certain, like, say if I want to get rice, okay, I'll stack up 3 months worth of rice, and then I started doing it a little bit of a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not hard to get started too, because it's like if you don't know where to start, dude, next time you go to the grocery store, grab a bag of beans and a bag of rice. They're cheap, they're easy, stored for a long time. Just do that every time you go to the grocery store. Before you know it, you'll be like, oh, I have like a ridiculous amount of beans and rice. It's gonna be bland, it's gonna be repetitive, but you'll live.
Yeah, my go-to is canned food, and if I grab a can of chicken noodle soup, I grab a flat. I don't buy a single can.
Yeah,
I buy 4, 10, or a flat of whatever I'm buying. That's my rule, and that's how.
Shop sales.
Green beans are 50 cents a can, $6 a flat at Walmart right now. Don't tell me you can't stack food. Just saying,
I usually put 1 or 2 things that are like the old school price of canned stuff in the deals tab at least every day, and that's what I do. If it's on sale, it's 50 cents a can. Buy a bunch.
Mm-hmm. I had people come into my stockpile that didn't know I was a prepper during COVID, and I outfitted their family with shit wrap and things to create turds. So they're like, wow, you have this? They're like, one person couldn't get into the dentist during COVID. They're like, oh my God, my tooth's killing me. I'm like, do you need some Oragel? And they're like, yeah, but nobody has it. It's out. It's COVID. I'm like, I have Oragel. And they're like, why? I'm like, why do you not have Oragel? You're the one with the fucked up tooth. Like, I've had a fucked up tooth and couldn't get to a dentist. Guess what? I have Oragel on standby now. Like, basic stuff. Like, people run out of Q-tips. People run out of Band-Aids. People run out of Neosporin, multivitamins, stuff.
Anti-diarrheal.
Yeah,
Because that'll
ice.
kill you.
Wrap
That'll kill you.
You know, the dollar store too is great for stocking up on stuff like that. Like I used to go every time I used to go to the dollar store, I'd grab a thing of hydrogen peroxide, of rubbing alcohol, Q-tips, Band-Aids. Because a lot of people, like, that's the other thing too. Like when it comes to medical, everyone, you know, if you got an IFAC, that's great. But like, you know how many times I've been out doing something and I'll cut my finger. I'm like, well, I don't need a tourniquet, or I don't need gauze. I need a Band-Aid. I don't have any Band-Aids.
Right.
I have this big ass IFAC and no Band-Aids.
Right. Useless. You need an ouchie boo boo kit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like little small stuff like that, dude. Like the dollar store is great for that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Cotton balls and gauze. I mean, you can pack a wound how many different ways. You still need gauze regardless. I don't care if it's dollar store gauze or whatever. You need an amount of it.
CJ at Prepared Citizens TG for the Boo Boo Kit.
Yeah, that's true. You can get a boo boo kit with a Slishman as everyday carry and a thing of gloves. I was telling him about the Slishman earlier, lawfully. It's not a very well known medical prep, but I've fallen in love with it being my favorite idiot proof prep for medical.
Yeah.
Anybody in their boss can run it.
I gave another one to a school resource officer yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've
been carrying the EDC kit in my back pocket, and I added a tube of the new skin to that.
Oh, nice.
In lieu of Band-Aids.
Yeah. Then I think I'm gonna hop back on track here because Dino said it. What up, Dino? After you hit a certain point, so I'm from a multi-generational prepping family, and I didn't know it until people come over to my house and they're like, "Oh man, we're like I noticed it when I was a kid. Like my buddy's family didn't have mac and cheese for dinner, and they're like, man, we can't afford to go to the store till next payday." And I'm like, I have mac and cheese in my house, so you guys can just have some. And they're like, really? And then like they came down and looked at my pantry, and we had a working 6-month pantry, and they're like, oh my God, why do you have so much food? I'm like, I'm not out of mac and cheese, and you're out of mac and cheese asking me why I have mac and cheese. You know what I mean? Like, that's just stupid. What you meant to say was thank you, and then take a learning note from it. Like, I don't understand what your logic is. I don't run out of things.
Yeah.
So I grew up, I was brought up into it without even realizing it's normal to me to have a 1-year pantry. So you get into the gardening aspect, and then you get into growing. And in my 30s, I see all these memes all the time. It's, hey, you're in your 30s. How are you doing? You're either super into chickens, you're super into hiking, or you're super into gardening and canning. Which one are you? And I'm like, oh, hey, bro, I'm all three. That's what's up. Go 30s. So it's interesting how my generation has kind of hopped back in the old school wagon of self-sufficiency without realizing that they're doing so, you know, which is cool. And
I think you need to throw a caveat in there for people that don't exactly have a giant house with a pantry and a basement. Got an apartment prepper. Got to kind of throw a caveat in there of, you know, you may not be able to keep a year's worth of food for a family of 4 in an apartment, but you know, don't feel like you're a failure if you can't do that.
Right. And
well, I mean,
we have
I feel like a failure for other reasons, but thank you.
No, what I'm saying is, like, most people could probably donate one of their bigger closets to having a little bit put back.
Right.
And I like the idea of every time you go to the store, as long as you've got a little bit of extra, you grab a bag of rice, grab a bag of beans, but don't stop there. Like my thing is, I always say, eat what you prep, or prep what you eat and eat what you prep. Like if you guys have mac and cheese every Wednesday, have a bunch of mac and cheese put back and ready to go. And whenever you go to the store, you buy mac and cheese. You put that behind all the older stuff, so you cycle through it.
Yeah. If you want mac and cheese day a week, it's 52 boxes, right? That's that simple. You can get that cheap.
Yeah, 52 boxes of mac and cheese. You got a year's worth of mac and cheese on Wednesday.
I'm not buying that quantity, but if we wanted something boxed or canned a week, then I buy two, buy one to replace what we eat, and a spare.
Yeah, and that's a very cost effective way to do it too, and you're never going in the negative. So I'm not against that
I
either.
I mean, I utilize a hallway closet and my kid's bedroom closet as my prepping space. That's where all my shit gets organized at, food wise.
Nice.
That's just what you know, and the kids know that like they just don't go in the closet because I have a lock on it.
Yeah. Mike Tango Whiskey. I don't have an LDS here in Nebraska. I've seen where you can mail it to you. We have some small Amish facilities, but they don't really do the. You can like go there and work for some food, but you can't really go buy a lot of food like that. I wish we had that because I'd buy a ton of it. But
I think
I
he was
read
more
that
meaning,
as LSD.
I think he was asking maybe
LDS. Did I really say that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think
Not-
he was asking more about like you said you came from a multi-generational prepper family, and LDS Mormons are usually pretty strong on the prepper front. I think that's maybe why he was asking.
Oh no. Grandpa was just in the military, seen some shit, and then it came back and never let it happen here.
Yeah, I grew up with Depression era grandparents, so the prepping was that's just how you lived. That's how you stay alive, So pantries, canning, gardening, the whole thing, and like where I'm at now, I don't necessarily have a spot to put in a garden, because of the house we have, but we get like the planters, and every year we just have a massive amount of planters growing whatever we can.
Yeah, I dig that.
So that's another thing too. If you're in an apartment, if you got a window, you can grow something in. Do it. You know what I mean? Like even if it's one tomato plant, that's one tomato plant you didn't have to go to the store and get. That's
Yeah.
That's one step in you growing your own little food. My aunt lives in an apartment. She gets like those the biggest containers she can find for to keep dirt in. Throws a potato in there.
Potatoes. Yeah.
A couple months later, she's got a harvest of potatoes. Does it every year.
Nothing wrong with that.
I went down to the Dollar Tree and I put it up too. Was a bag of Dollar Tree dirt, bag of Dollar Tree seeds, Dollar Tree dirt holder, and I got bush beans growing out on the deck right now.
Yep.
You don't even need a planter. You just take the bag of dirt and you cut one side of it in half, fold it in half, and sit it on the ground. That's a planter.
Yeah, if you can do the same with spinach or kale or lettuce. You can cut little slits in it, and that's where you sow your seeds on top, and you will just go through and snip your lettuce and whatever, literally in the bag of dirt. You'll have a reoccurring food plot just right there. So if you can put a bag, whatever size you can, of dirt somewhere, and maybe wall it off with one buys or whatever to make it look aesthetically pleasing, you can grow food. Now I'm trying to get Lawfully, because he's in an apartment. Hey, Lawfully, to do a micro, what do you want to call that? Ecosystem, yeah, with an aquarium, quail, and rabbits. You do rabbits on top of the quail, and then you can do the right there behind you would be great. Get rid of that corner shelf, and then. But yeah, apartments can do a lot of stuff. Guinea pig is a delicacy places. Just saying, and it's a pet. Quail can be pets. Rabbits can be pets. Guess what? The Chinese eat poodles and noodles, so you can eat your pets eventually if you have to. So we're good to go.
There's stray cats outside.
Yeah, that
Wow.
that alley teriyaki is good stuff, man.
Farm to table.
Yeah, for sure. Palace of paws and your claws. Oh man, that's bad.
You eat everybody else's pets.
Yeah, I don't want to eat my pets. I like them. Poodles, yeah, Eduardo, poodles and noodles.
Was it Dave Canterbury said? I think it was Dave Canterbury. He said, "What are you going to go like spend all day in the woods setting snares, hunting deer just to get like maybe a rabbit, or are you going to get down on one knee and go?"
Hey man, Chihuahua on a stick's better than my Chihuahua on a stick. We're good to go.
I mean, you might as well, because the alternative, if it goes on long enough, is they're just going to become feral. So like, it's you eat them now or they eat you later.
Right. Dino said Muffin Top just went to the LDS site. They have a message experiencing higher than normal traffic. Mormons must be freaking over the snap apocalypse. That could be true, and I did see the message up there earlier about shipping it to me, and that's where I think the cost effectiveness breaks down on it for me, because it's such a far shipping distance for me. So it doesn't make sense financially, but I can my own shit. And that makes total sense. Preppers are doing it. I have seen more. I've seen another big prepper. What is it? Travis from Homestead, whatever. What's his channel's name? Oh man, he's a pretty Christian dude. He's a big channel.
Someone's calling their dog to get dinner.
Yeah, they're hungry. What's that guy's name?
Britt and Grace said that her dogs are losing it.
Is it the Prepared Homestead? Travis, the big bearded guy?
Yep, him. He was saying how there's been an uptick in higher officials reported. I haven't seen the story on it, so let me know if you guys have seen anything about it, where they're moving higher end government, congressional clientele on military bases with their families. They've seen uptick in bunker sales / rich people buying stock for the bunkers this last couple of years. Like almost they know something's about to pop off with the increase in the the quick response team from the National Guard for every state, with the National Guard going everywhere. With I'll let you guys know if I can say anything right now, but I'll tell you guys offline something later. I know some stuff that I can't talk about on the internet right now, but I'll tell you cool guys later.
Sure, you tell everybody about it.
Surveillance state and whatnot. Well, I'll let you guys know if I can tell you, but I don't think I can right now.
Okay.
No, I lost my train of thought. Damn it, Luffly. The increase of the higher end clientele moving and getting more security and getting more quote unquote prep very quickly. I do think raises some concerns and raises a higher concern level, and therefore removes that food from the standard market from normies like us. So take that into account as well.
Man, if only there was a book written like 2,000 years ago that predicted some of this stuff. That would be helpful.
What? No way. Yeah. Captain Cave 10. Yeah. EBT big. Epic big tatas. Oh, I mean, if that's where you get your milk for your Cheerios, man, I mean, go for it. That is a protein, baby.
I mean, some of those people do have some epically big ones, just not pretty ones.
Yeah, that's true. That usually is correct. Yeah, but if you use a bag method, you can still get your Cheerios moist, so you're good to go.
Utterly smooth joke.
Hey, they might call her buttermilk on Tuesdays, but that's just because she's not the ace crowd on Saturdays. She can still earn a couple dollars, guys. Give her a break.
Woo!
And you were worried about cussing over here. But yeah, so I think food's a huge thing, and I think too many preppers get stuck up on the tactical gear and guns stuff, and then
that's the sexy part. That's what sells.
I know, but at the end of the day, you said it way earlier, is you can only eat the bullet once. Like it don't do you a lot of good.
Yeah. Well, like my philosophy has always been like food is a weapon. Food is a weapon, and the idea behind it is that you can be used for good or it can be used for evil. The same sense of like, we all can rant and rave about how the communists starved everybody, or the Holodomor in Ukraine where they starved out 6 million Ukrainians. You can be used for evil. It can be used for good, right? You think if it's like a grid down situation. One thing I always rant about on the podcast is I'm glad to see that like the prepper community has evolved past this. But I remember, when the doomsday prepper stuff started, that it was this mentality of like, these are my beans, and if you come on my porch for my beans, you get both barrels of my double lot buck, And it's like, okay, cool, but like, you're friends with your neighbor and your kids play together. Are you really going to sit there and watch your neighbor's kids starve? Or are you going to actually like, yeah, okay, maybe you have to dip into some of your stuff to look out for your neighbor. But it's kind of the whole point behind what we're doing in the first place, right? Is it's not just self-preservation, but also if you're the only guy in the neighborhood who's fat and everybody else is starving,
they're going to figure it out.
They know you have beans. Like they know you have food, And how much goodwill can you buy with that food, right? Instead of hoarding up, like instead of being like, this is mine and anyone who comes onto my porch, you're getting both barrels. Okay, great. Your neighbor has a skill that you need.
Yeah.
It's been a week.
You know, the best thing is
goes a long way.
Absolutely everybody can wear work gloves and run a shovel.
Yeah.
If they're hungry enough, they will do it. And that's what I'm going to do with all my dollar store single freaking pound bags of rice and beans and ramen. And yeah, it might not be great. You might be eating oatmeal for breakfast and ramen for lunch and rice and beans for dinner. But guess what? You're eating.
Yeah.
And I need a trench dug, and I need foxholes dug, and I need wood split, and I need this done, and I need all the crap scooped out of the chicken coop. Guess what? You don't have anything. I need your manual labor.
Well, it's like the idea where people are like, I have 10 PSA ARs ready to hand out to the homies in case things go south. Okay, cool. Are you going to feed the homies?
Yep, because those are all getting turned on you.
Right? Like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
You armed all of your neighbors. None of them have food. You've just given them the means to take your food because, great, fantastic. You know, the great success. You know, like this doesn't work. You need to be like, it's one of those things too where it's like, look, obviously take care of yourself. Be judicial about it. Don't just be the Oprah of or Costco of food and just hand out everything to everybody and become the new welfare, right? But it's one of those things where it's like, are you really going to sit by and watch your neighbor's kid starve to death?
No, I will not.
You know, exactly. Right. Like all of us, I would assume, are like good enough people to be like, you know what? I've got mine. And yes, they should have prepared. Yes, they should have done this, that, or the other. But at the end of the day, it's like, am I really just going to sit here and watch them die?
Right. And with that, we need to get back to something happened. And I think it was implemented on purpose where when I was a kid, we used to hang out with our neighbors all the time. We used to grill with them. We used to have parties with them. We used to have pool days with them. We used to, whatever, we'd hang out with their kids, go ride our bikes, go shoot 22s, whatever. Like we were all hanging out all the time. Okay. Now that I'm older, well, that was part of our mag and we were all living within our means and we were all living with each other and we were all doing separate animal husbandry things. Like one guy was a rancher, one guy was a farmer, one guy did dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. We could all build a house together. Okay. You need all those skill sets, but something that's happened in the last couple of generations is people don't talk to their neighbors. I hang out with my neighbors. I drink beer. I smoke meat every Sunday. We come over. Anybody who's hungry, or if they want to slap something on the grill and just come and BS, we do it. That's our fellowship. I don't believe you have to go to church to be a Christian, but having a community like that and having a good standard of morals and whatnot, you need that. And those people will think of you and be able to defend you. So instead of, I moved off the philosophy of having the 10 PSAs or whatever and handing them out to, if 4 families have my Golden 5 firearms, which is a 22, your 9mm, your EDC that you're going to carry every day, your shotgun, your bolt gun, because I'm in Nebraska, and an anti-tyrannical weapon. If everybody has their 5 Golden firearms for 4 families, you can point whatever you need to north, south, east, west, and you still have a surplus of firearms. You're good. You really don't need more than that.
Yeah, you know, I think it's I think it's a big thing where, you know, again, that comes back to it. It's like, yeah, it's like, what are you going to have more of, and what are you more likely to use? So it's like, I talk about this a lot too when it comes to the gun thing, right? It's like, one, I think if you're going to go the gun route, you know, have one super rugged, reliable, like shit has gone south. This is my grab and go rifle. But I always talk about this, like for the average person, realistically speaking, right? Even in like the most dire of situations, the odds of you ever actually having to fire a shot, period, are probably pretty low. Like everyone acts like it's going to be rolling gunfights and doomsday battles from here till the end of time, and you have to have this 100,000 round life barrel on your rifle, or you're going to die. And it's like, realistically speaking, it's like let's look at real world examples, right? Were there there were you look at like Hurricane Helene, going back to that, right? There were not rolling gun battles through the streets. There were not people running and gunning everywhere. There was not massive like Alamo holdouts, right? The real reality of it is the odds of you having to employ your weapon in a defensive situation, even in a scenario like that, are still probably low. Maybe not zero, but low. So like a normal $500 AR with a Romeo 5 on it, it's probably going to do you plenty fine, right? Or a Mossberg 500, probably plenty fine. Your EDC, probably plenty fine. If I'm not saying don't go out and buy a bunch of guns. It's a hobby. We all enjoy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the idea of like, This is my super specific rifle for shooting between 500 to 700 yards. This is my super specific rifle for 100 to 300 yards. This is my CQB rifle. This is my blah, 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 blah. I'm guilty of that just as much as anybody else. I'm a gun guy. I like having stuff. It has to fill a fantasy role for me. But it's one of those things where it's like, if that's not you and you just want to get into this, you don't need to have all that necessarily, right? Just one good setup, you're good. Go train with it. The odds of you ever actually having to use it, even in a dangerous scenario, probably low, but still know how to. But also, like you said, the odds of you using your weapon, low. The odds of you needing to eat every day, high.
Yeah, I love grub as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
You're going to eat every day, right? Loftley said G19, 1022, AR-15, Mossberg 500, Mosin, but eventually a Tikka. I love my Tikka. Thank you. Yeah, honestly, 1022 is super overlooked. A 5-year-old can run it and a 95-year-old can run it sitting on a porch, right? If need be. Actually, that's probably going to be your grocery getter, honestly. You're going to shoot squirrels. You're going to shoot turkeys. You're going to shoot rabbits. You're going to shoot ground squirrels to get them out of your garden to keep your food going, badgers, whatever. 1022 can pretty much take anything, two-legged and otherwise. It's also super realistic to hit your 10,000 rounds if that's what you want to have for a 1022. It's cheap.
Just make sure you run through the ammo and find out what it likes. Because if you have 13,000 rounds of golden, what is it called, the golden bucket, and your 10, golden bullets, and your 1022 chokes on it, you've got 0 bullets.
It's true. I'm a fan of CCI Minimag.
Gnostic Nomad in the chat makes a good point too. Is like those the BCG conversions. If you already have an AR, those are great too. I've got one of those CMMG ones. Things works great. That's another option for you too. Something like that, to where at the same time,
accuracy, though.
it's about the price of it's about the price of buying a 1022. So either way, but for simplicity's sake, it's nice.
Yeah, and it lets you get familiarity with running the weapon platform. My mag, we started standardizing on Glock 40 police trade-ins. We got off of everybody was kind of carrying whatever, and then we decided to standardize. 22, 23s, Gen 4s, dirt cheap. You like the finger grooves, don't like them, you got a Dremel for $20, you don't care. You can get 9mm barrels. I've been running my 23, which is what I have my name on for security. I have a 9mm conversion barrel for it from Lone Wolf. I have a 22 conversion barrel for it from CM&G. Guess what? It works great. You can shoot anything. Whenever you're out of one type of ammo, you can run the other. You just got to swap the barrel and mags. Done. So you can get into it cheap and have those capabilities. And the 22 conversions are great for weapons handling, training, same holster compatibility, lights, The only thing you're not going to get out of it is recoil management, just like when you're training with a laser system, right? Which isn't that big of a deal, all things considered. Great option. I love it. But 1022, it's under almost every redneck's backseat, either that or a 12 gauge. So you can always find parts. You can always find mags. Everybody's decent enough with them. They can pretty much smack whatever you need to down.
I think the conversion kit is cool if you already have a 22 rifle, but if you were going to buy that over the 1022, you can't throw that conversion kit over to your 9-year-old and say defend the homestead while Daddy takes the AR over here.
Mm-hmm.
So for training purposes, if you've already got a separate rifle, but in the order of importance, I would put a second rifle over the conversion kit.
All have merit, and it is whatever. But I think the simplicity and them being in a toolbox and them each having different jobs as that specific tool. Your EDC is the one you can have on you. Sell your cloak and buy a dagger if you do not have one. That's your modern day dagger. Your shotgun, for me, puts a lot of meat in the freezer. I shoot a lot of different, from dove to turkey to geese, snow geese, pheasants, quail. I shoot a lot of birds, and that's a lot of meat in my freezer. And, worst case scenario, if I was in slug area or, buckshot, nobody wants to roll in on buckshot, right? So shotgun's a great tool for that. For me, I live in Nebraska. I have to have a bolt gun. You may switch that out for a PCC. I don't know if you're in an urban area. It's kind of what I always go to, but I need a bolt gun. I hunt with it. I can take deer, elk with it, whatever. I can take a cow with it if I really had to. It's whatever. So
You could take a cow with 10-22 if you really had to.
well, we do typically either that or a 9, but when we butcher one. But yeah, and then your anti-tyrannical is a box fed, AKAR, whatever you're going to run. I don't care.
Both.
No, pick one and stick with it. Get standardized.
Unless your first name is Yuri, sell that AK.
Yeah.
Unless everyone's running AKs.
Well, then you're communist and you're wrong.
Yeah, then you're a commie. You should all sell your AK.
I mean, it's whatever works for you guys. At the end of the day, if y'all want to run bullpups, run bullpups. If y'all want to run Colts with carry handles, police trade-ins, run them. I don't care.
Or era battle rifles. Be a man.
Yeah, get standardized. I don't care if y'all want to run spears and sticks. Run the same spear and sticks. That way, everybody knows how to run it. But at the end of the day, I've seen so many prepper channels get down to they have hundreds and hundreds of firearms, and I helped sell a family member's firearms, and they had a little over 8,000 firearms, and it took over 3 years to sell them at gun shows and auctions and da-da-da-da-da. And guess what? They weren't all the same caliber. Guess what? They all didn't have the same mags. You had 1 or 2 mags for everything in there. At the end of the day, and shit hits the fan, that collection's fucking useless because you can't service and repair everything. You don't have enough mags to feed a bunch of people. The weapon familiarity is not there for a lot of people in your mag. Guess what? Everybody can pick up a Glock 19 and probably hit a human-sized target at 10 yards, 25 yards, right? So guess what? Everybody runs a Glock 19. Okay, you want to carry a 17, carry a 17, whatever. You want to carry a 43, okay, it's a fucking Glock. Everybody knows how to run a Glock. Okay, or y'all want to run 1911s, or y'all want to run M&Ps, whatever, get standardized. Y'all want to run 870s or Mossberg 500s. Pick one, figure out what works for you. Everybody stack that one. Not you stack one for everybody. Everybody who's with you stack one. Because then you guys can get the solar generators. You can get the bug out camper. You can get the bug out location. You guys can all split a storage unit. You guys can get a full solar setup. You guys can get a big garden. You guys can get the attack dogs. You guys can get the spaceships, the lightsabers, whatever you want. Because not everybody's running out getting 100 damn guns. Your funds are going towards better things for everybody in the long run, right?
Yeah, I think at a bare minimum, if you're going to standardize, at least at a bare minimum, standardize magazine compatibility, at least for your fighting rifle. If you're going to, have different, one guy's got a Glock, one guy's got an MP, whatever, right? At least be the same caliber at a bare minimum, preferably, ideally, right? Everyone's running similar magazine compatibility across the board with that. And if you are the guy that has something special, maybe you're the AK guy, or you've got a 308 or whatever it is, just know that no one else is carrying your shit.
Right.
And it's like, okay, maybe if that's the case, maybe you got to carry 5 more mags than everybody else because everybody else can toss each other a mag and you're the odd duck out.
Yeah. And if your weapon platform goes down, you're down to your secondary. You try to be high speed, low drag, and everybody's getting rid of secondaries on their belt kit and just running the mini chest rigs now. You got 3 mags of whatever and no sidearm. Oh no, your primary goes down. Sucks to be you, dude, because you have nothing at that point.
I really think that all the standardizing is super ideal. I like simplified logistics. I think the reality is everyone having at least one reliable handgun is really the bare minimum. And then if you survive initial contact, in short order, there will be more guns than people. I mean, there already are more guns than people. So there'll be dead people and there'll be people with lots of guns.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that if you have one long gun you're good with, whether that's the single shot 12 gauge and you're an 80-year-old guy and that's been your only long gun for your whole life, you're probably pretty damn good with that single shot 12 gauge, right?
Oh, I'm not here to fluff up every hunter that ever thought he was Daniel Boone. I'm just saying, if you, and I don't mean you, Muffin Top, talking to everybody at home. If you've got all of the golden 5 for your household, and then every adult or trustworthy teenager, you've got a handgun to give to those people, you've probably got more than enough coverage.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like if your group, if your homestead or your mag or whatever, if you've got multiples of the golden five, all the better. But like if you've got at least the five, I mean, every able-bodied man ought to have the rifle and pistol. But as long as you've got enough handguns that everybody's got something on them all the time, for all your friends or relatives that are maybe familiar with the gun but don't religiously EDC now under rule of law, they will become someone who carries a gun as long as there's a way to get them a handgun. I think from there, if, like I say, if you survive initial contact, you will accumulate war spoils. And that's not me saying be a werewolf prepper. That's just saying that you're going to become a scav.
Right.
I think another thing of that too, when it comes to that, is also like remembering maybe certain weapons for certain roles. What I mean by that is I don't mean like certain roles within the fire team. I mean like if you have a large group of people like that, where you have multiple families, things like this, right? Someone staying at home and cooking the food, right? Does that guy need a decked out AR, or does he just need a, heck, even getting away with a single shot 12 gauge, right? Just because he's in the rear with the gear, right?
Right.
That kind of thing too, to where it's like, okay, if you're limited on the certain types of things, or your standardization or whatever it is, right? What do people actually need in the role they're fulfilling, right? If it's like, hey man, we got to circle the wagons, bad guys at the gate, it's all hands on deck, right? But for normal daily operations, like I agree with you. I think like, yeah, if you got a pistol on you or whatever gun you can pack with you whenever you're going out to, feed the hogs, chop the wood, whatever, sick. If you got a group of dudes who like, these are your dedicated guys that are going to respond to contact, yeah, they should be outfitted with whatever. But, I'm stealing something from an Uncle Ojai and G-Watt Alchemist live stream that you have the tip of the spear, but 90% of the spear is shaft, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the shaft, right, you don't have to be the trigger puller guy, right? If you're one of the shaft guys, right, do you need all the decked out stuff? Are you good with just wearing a pistol around the farm? Or maybe you've got a rifle within reach, or you can get to it quickly if something happens, and you've got a gun on you. But it doesn't necessarily need to be the tricked out whatever, right? Because that's what is the likelihood of contact, right? The more likely the contact and the role that you do, the better your stuff should be. If you're like, I'm the guy that milks the cows because I'm 85, I could probably get by with a sidearm and maybe a shotgun nearby.
Yeah. I've said it before. I'm not pulling weeds in the garden with a plate carrier and a full battle rattle rig and battle belt. And I've talked about it with Red Dawn Readiness, and he asked, like, what are you going to wear in SHTF? I'm like, probably just my gun belt with a rifle mag, 2 pistol mags, and my pistol on me, and my AR, like, over by the shed somewhere. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm going to be cutting wood and bringing 5-gallon buckets of water here and there and, like, getting buckets of sand to set up sandbags and repairing houses and shit. Like, when I rotate into LPOP, sure. Chest rig, rifle, whatever, and, some binos and the thermal, whatever. Cool. Other than that, your pistol, you're probably fine, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, look, even in the military, dude, like, I'm not wearing full kit all the time.
Yeah, fuck that.
You know what I mean? Like, there's times where I'm in the rear with the gear. There's times where I'm out doing stuff, right?
Yeah. You think
my
the
loadout
cook's over there full battle rattle? No, he's making mashed potatoes. Like,
yeah.
Break.
Yeah. The dude sewing a quilt doesn't need a plate carrier.
Right.
Just want to wear regular clothes most of the time.
Yeah, I just want to wear flannel and jeans.
I can afford myself the comfort of comfortable clothes.
Zoro, we can't be friends anymore. You're not a fan of Glock. No, I'm just kidding. I understand.
they're illegal in his state.
Yeah, I know. I like Zoro. He's a good dude. That's funny. Dino said, wait, let's read Gnostic Nomad. If you don't have a 5.56 primary and 9mm pistol, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. I think every able-bodied guy should have that. But does Granny need it? Does Grandpa need it? Does your 5-year-old kid need it? Yeah, probably not. Dino said, no one's going to war. Running and gunning down the streets is a wet dream for preppers. A CCW, and you're pretty much good to go for anything. That's probably more 80% normal every day. Yeah. The wet dream for preppers is it's a zombie apocalypse and I'm going to be on top of the roof with 100,000 rounds of ammo. Yeah, you're probably not. You know what I mean? that shit's going to get sold for dirt cheap when you die at an auction, for your family to get some monetary value out of it. So finding the realistic median is what I try to do here. And like we said, we talked about food. You're going to need to make a turd probably every day, if not every other day. Otherwise, you're not going to be really doing a whole lot because you're not going to have energy to do enough, right? You're not going to be effective without calories, plain and simple.
Another thing I think about this too, I've been thinking about this recently, right? That kind of goes along lines with this, and I'm curious to see what you guys have to say of this. A lot of us who do training and stuff, we go out, we do it in the woods, kind of things, or some kind of wooded outdoor area, mainly because that's where we can do it, right?
I do it on a treadmill all the time.
Treadmill, right? It's like if you're going to go out and like walk a patrol, where you're going to go do it, right? Some wooded area, some outdoor area, some rural area, right? Because like everyone's going to look at you weird if you're doing it like downtown, local town, right? But historically speaking, where does conflict take place? Population centers, areas of control. No one gives a shit about your single farm in bumfuck, right? No one cares, right? What they care, like it's like in my area, right? Are they going to control the population center with the train yard or Uncle Joe's farm, right? So if you're out hanging out at Uncle Joe's farm and that's your bug out spot, as long as you're like outside of that general realm of control, you're probably going to be fine, right? And if you are in town, that's more likely where something is going to happen, right? Because that's where control happens, is in population centers. You don't, throughout history, the big battles are over cities, towns, major population centers, because that's where the seats of power are, right? Mm-hmm. They're not at Uncle Joe's farm.
I agree.
Muffin Top wants to be like Herschel, and he wants to tie them all up in the barn.
Yeah, but I'm going to be doing stuff to him because that's
where the KY jelly comes from.
Yeah, you're going to earn your place, boy. Jacob 2A guy said those conversion kits look solid. They run great, dude. Yeah, they're good to go, especially for space saving. I got no problem with it. Rebel Spirit Operations says he has a theory that diesel mechanics and gearheads will rule and shit hits a fan. Yeah, some Mad Max stylist will definitely, I think mechanics and handymen. Well, yeah, because you didn't agree with my KY jelly barn.
All sticky.
Well, yeah, but that's protein, so it's okay.
Hey,
I'm getting a call.
Can I address one of the comments real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So, Eduardo, I see you say on there the South African farmers were cooked alive. So that I would say, yes, you're absolutely right. That is an instance, but also that's after the cities fell. The cities are already controlled by the population center, right? They already lost the fight for that city. So now they have control of that area and they can push outwards, right? But what I'm saying is like the initial stage of conflict is going to happen within that city. It's going to take time for something like that to come out there. This is something where you're talking about generations. You're talking about 20, 30 years of occupation of a certain area, moving out to these farms now. So that I would say is a little bit different in that scenario.
Right. And even more different is South Africa, you can have a full auto AK, and you know who has them? Usually generally warlords. You can have schools and churches and stuff, and they can have a warlord group with like 20 guys come in, and guess what? You don't have a church or a school anymore. It's a power vacuum there. So it's a little bit different. It's not the same exact scenario. In America, we are blessed to have the ability to be on a somewhat parallel level. And if you add some skill with it and some practice, you could probably generally outgun most. I mean, I shoot with police guys and army guys, and just because you're a police or an army guy doesn't exactly equate to you being a really good shot. And that's just the name of the game. That's not your 100% job is to pull the trigger every day. You know, you have a lot of other things to do. Most of it's observe and report and get a case and, you know, look at footage. It's not all run and gun like John Wick. Nobody's job is run and gun John Wick. Nobody in the entire world's job is to do that. You're going to have downtime regardless. So just putting that out there. We go through the firearm thing a lot because that's what it's sexy and everybody wants to talk about it. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of other things to branch into. I'm getting really heavy into the solar generator, trying to get my family off grid to remove an extra bill. I foresee power consumption being a really big problem with AI. I mean, they're already piping direct lines to new AI facilities. They're already reactivating 3 Mile Island. Musk is bringing in an entire power plant from Germany to power one of his plants in Texas. Like, energy is going to be probably a slow battle because companies, manufacturing and otherwise, are going to create higher demand on it, which is going to increase the price. You think groceries
There's
going up is going to be a problem? Everybody's going to freak out when their electricity bill quadruples next year.
there's another plant that's being reactivated that's going to be going straight for that too.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
another state.
yeah, I mean, Nebraska and Iowa are implementing. We have one nuclear facility. We're adding another one, and Iowa's adding one. The battle, excuse me, for power will become real. So if you don't try to get yourself self-sufficient that way, and try to mitigate some of your electrical costs with solar, with however, if you have a river, do some dam, whatever you can do, put a wood stove in to help your electric costs with heat and whatnot. I'm an HVAC guy. I have a fireplace. I have a generator. I have solar generators. I have wood stoves. I have all that stuff, and I run them in conjunction. Why? It's cost effective. So you have to find what works best for you in your area, but you need to start thinking a little bit longer term that way too, because the Culligan man effect is going to happen. It's already implementing in your water heaters. It's already implementing in your vehicles. It's already implementing in your heating and air equipment. Soon you will not be able to work on your stuff. And you're going to need a computer program that your company has to pay for every single year to come and plug into it to diagnose your equipment. And every 5 years to 8 years, they're going to rip it out and put another one in. And when you're on a fixed income, you are not going to be able to afford the increase because it's never going to decrease. This stuff is never going to go down in value. It's going to make you a forever slave. You will not be able to retire in this system. And I'm telling you, within 10 years, absolutely every major appliance you have in your house will be this way. Your refrigerator, your washer and dryer, your dishwasher, everything will be set up like this within 10 years. It's already coming forth in the market. How do I know? I make this shit. It's my job. So you need to find a way to be independent of that, because that's a huge slave system. You want to talk about having 100 guns? How about having an off-grid homestead? That'd be way better for your family in the long run.
So what you're telling me is all my AI-generated photos of Sydney Sweeney and me is single-handedly bringing down the power grid.
No, but it's definitely helping. It takes a lot of power to generate that shit, man. And with the robotics and drones, even more jobs are going to go away. So the higher paying jobs are going to go away and your bills are going to continue to go up. The 2030 agenda of you own nothing and be happy, it's going to hit there at 2030, man. You're just not going to know it yet because you're going to be renting everything. And it's not going to be because you could. One day it's going to be, oh, man, my furnace went out. I can't afford $20,000 for a new one. Oh, okay, well, you can rent this and it's 5% interest forever, just like a credit card. Everything will have so much interest, you will not be able to stop and retire and be on a fixed income. It will be impossible. So you need to have family to offset it.
If you can start hedging yourself up against it now, you're just going to be better off then. If you can get some good power banks, you got a good power bank for them solar panels. Because tell you what, in 2 years, when everybody starts to realize, like, holy crap, look at how much power the price of the kilowatt has gone up. You don't think the price of the power banks aren't going to be up?
Yep, because everybody's going to be trying something. And then that's the next problem is that you get a
mitigate it now
life on 8 to 10 years on the battery. So you still have to buy batteries for it. The solar panels still crap out after 8 to 12 years. You still need to increase your solar panels. So every time you do that, it's going to be even more. So you got to learn now. It's not that hard. It's super easy. Like, I got a Blue Eddy and I got a Duracell one, and you can get whatever fucking solar generator you want. Dip into it now. Black Friday coming up. Cyber Monday's coming up. Just get one. When the power goes out and you can run your freezer without having to worry about losing your half a cow you paid for, because meat is astronomical next year, you are going to love that investment because your fridge, your freezer is still running.
That's one thing you bring up a great point out, like the power going out, is like every time it comes to prepping and stuff like this. And I was just talking to Rebel Spirit. He's going to be on. He was the guest on the upcoming podcast episode, so shout out to him.
No, not
the big thing with that too is it's like just the prepping stuff doesn't even have to we plan for big, like, holy shit scenarios, right? But it's so useful to have all this stuff on hand when something small like that happens. Like I was telling him, I said, like last week sometime, We had a huge windstorm, blew over a tree, knocked out a transformer, hit just the right one. The whole town was without power, right?
Yep.
Granted, it happened at night at like 10:30, right? Me and my wife are sitting there watching TV. Power just cuts out, right? And it's like, all right, cool. So just break out the stuff. All right, set up the little. We've got like those. You like those little like LED lanterns you pop up when they come on, right?
Yep.
Put one of those in each of the kids' rooms. Put a little tap light in the bathroom so everyone can find out. Make sure they're peeing in the toilet and see what they're doing. Yeah, it's like sick, cool, we're good. All right, sweet. And when the wintertime happens, something like that happens, it's like, cool, break out the Mr. Heater. All right, we're good. And it was you have that stuff on standby to where when the lights go out, you're like, oh crap. Like we had all the phone bank, all the charge banks ready for phones and stuff like that. Are ready to charge. Everything was good to go, and we don't have to freak out. It's just like, oh, lights are out. That's inconvenient. Grab the things. Cool, we're good. And just something like that, to where you're prepared. If you're prepared for the big stuff, you're prepared for the little stuff.
Yep.
It's nice, and it's nice to have. Like I live in Florida. We get storms. So when everybody's out panic buying, and there's an hour-long line at Walmart. It's like, I don't got to go deal with that shit.
When everyone's
I don't got to deal with it.
selling their left nut and the firstborn for a generator, and you're like, I already got one.
Yeah, it's like, all right, like you guys can go out there and go be crazy. I'm gonna stay at home where I'm nice and safe.
Yeah, and Eduardo Espinoza, do I recommend the new Salt Blue Eddy, the new battery? I don't know enough about that type of battery yet. I do the deep cell lithium. They work great for now. I see some advantages, but I haven't dug deep enough into it yet. We'll see. I would assume the battery type will get cheaper eventually. Pat, you bought a bunch of solar generators off Facebook Marketplace. You saved even more money. You bought some used ones. No, Pat. Okay. Pivot. Yeah, Rebel Spirits, he's really good, dude. I'm glad that you had him on. He's a smart dude.
Hey, shameless plug for him too. If you haven't checked it out, go check out his website, Rebel Spirit Combative Training Applications.com.
Yeah, and if you look at all the people that are members over there, your boy Muffin Top's in there. It's here. So that's cool. I don't know if we're getting anything monetarily value out of this or not yet, but I don't think so. No, that's good shit. He's got some good people over there, and some other guys I've talked to in Signal groups and whatnot too as well. I'm not so much probably on good terms with that other guy you were talking about with his spear concept, because he was coming after another one of my friends, and I told him he was gay, lame and gay, and I don't think we're buddies, but that's okay.
Did you say singles group?
Yeah, Signal group. I'm not Signal. I'm too ugly for that anymore.
It was in his furry swingers group.
Yeah.
Fun
fact, something I learned is the furries actually implemented this vest type that kept them cool in those very hot suits that the U.S. military picked up, so that way they'd stay cool with their plate carriers while running and gunning.
Yeah, that's why they did it.
Yeah, you can thank the furries for keeping your nuts nice and not salty.
No, you know what it was? What it was is that you guys remember that Army colonel that had the dog mask? It was that guy. He's like, don't ask me how I know this.
But it works really good.
This thing's awesome. Totally not gay.
He was a brony.
Yuck.
Yuck, he says.
Gross.
Oh boy, we're going off the rails. Well, we've been going for
like
2 hours.
I like to go from time to time, but
no,
I was surprised that it got back on the rails after it went off the rails the first time.
Yeah, we did good. We pulled ourselves back from the brink a couple times. We're good dudes here, trying to help people out, I think. I know you've been talking kind of off screen, so and it's like 5 o'clock your time. You're probably missing dinner with your family and whatnot, so I don't want to hold you up any longer. If you got any closing statements,
yeah, sure. Yeah, if you get like I said, we talked about before. I said, food's a weapon one way or the other. With this stuff coming up, hopefully this all gets resolved and we can all look back on this live stream and be like, wow, we were off.
Right.
But if it doesn't, November 1st comes around, I would just say, like I said, if you're in a big city and you're going to a big box store to get groceries, I'd just be a little bit more cognizant, a little bit more careful about what's going on. Be more aware of your situation, especially if you're going with your family. Maybe instead of sending your wife to the store without you, go with her, that kind of thing. Other than that, if you guys want to find me or any of my stuff, I'm on Spotify and I'm on YouTube by the same name, Mid-TierThoughts, and you can check out stuff there. We like to have a good time. And other than that, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Don't even bother putting yourself in the situation. Just
Yeah,
you should have enough food in your house that you don't need to go shopping for a couple weeks. So
yep. That's the ideal goal, is when weird stuff like this happens, right? And all the craziness goes down. If you can just avoid it, like that's kind of like we talked about, like that 2 week time frame. Is that's usually all the craziness usually happens within like the first 2 weeks. Then people kind of figure their shit out.
right.
So it's been fun, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in. I'm glad we finally got to link up. Hopefully we can hang out and BS some other time.
Absolutely.
Anybody else got some closing statements? At Alt7705. I don't know if you're being super gay or what, but we don't do the EBT party over here. I think if you say one more stupid ass thing, I'm kicking you out of here. So don't be gay. Thanks.
Come on, let the trolls do a little trolling. It's good for the algorithm.
Comments. 3 is enough. 3 is too many.
I mean, I pay taxes. If he wants to throw a party, I'll eat a meal.
You guys are so helpful.
I'll even bring the Hennessy.
All right. That wasn't racistly targeted at all. I got the natty and the styrofoam. Let's do this. All right, boys. See you later.
Y'all be nice.